Bittersweet rain on a summer night, washing away what never felt right. Every drop of smoke goodbye, every cloud a reason why. You came like a storm in the heat of June, too warm, too bright, too much too soon. And when the rain finally fell between us, it was sweet at first and stung like a wound. I stood outside and let it wash over me. Every drop a small absolution, the bittersweet taste of what we used to be, dissolved into the puddles and the confusion. There's something about rain after a long drought that feels like grief and relief at once. Something about how it comes pouring out that sounds like every broken promise. Bittersweet rain, bittersweet rain, washing the sweet out of all the pain. Bittersweet rain, bittersweet rain, flooding the lost to begin again. I taste you on every falling drop. I feel you in the rain that won't stop. Bittersweet rain. The thunder rolls like an argument that we kept having in the dark. The lightning shows every beautiful dent you left inside my softened heart. When the storm begins to ease and the air smells new and clean, I realize I'm still on my knees, grateful for what this rain might seem. Something about rain after a long drought, it feels like grief and relief at once. Something about how it comes pouring out that sounds like every broken promise. Bittersweet rain, bittersweet rain, washing the sweet out of all the pain. Bittersweet rain, bittersweet rain, flooding the lost to begin again. I taste you on every falling drop. I feel you in the rain that won't stop. Bittersweet rain, let the rain be both the wound and healing. Let the sweetness seize the bitter sting. I'll stand here with my chest wide open, feeling everything this bittersweet storm can bring. Because sometimes love is rain, sometimes rain is love, and sometimes what falls down on us is exactly what we're dreaming of. Bittersweet rain, washing the sweet out of all the pain. Bittersweet rain, bittersweet rain, flooding the lost to begin again. I taste you on every falling drop. I feel you in the rain that won't stop. Bittersweet rain, still standing in this bittersweet rain, still finding the beauty inside the pain. Bittersweet rain, bittersweet rain. Falling embers in the dark, bright and dying like a spark. Everything we were burned slow into the beauty of the afterglow. We burned so bright at the beginning, every moment fire and light. But all that burning has a finish, and now we're somewhere in the night. Falling embers all around us, little pieces of what we were, glowing soft before they ground us in the silence of a cold winter. But there's something beautiful in endings, in the way the fire gives itself away, in these small bright ember sendings that drift and glow before they fade. Falling embers, each one carrying a memory, a laugh, a touch, a careless remark, a night when you were all I need. And as each ember hits the ground and fades from orange into black, I'm grateful for the light we found, even knowing it can't come back. But there's something beautiful in endings, in the way the fire gives itself away, in these small bright ember sendings that drift and glow before they fade. Falling embers, beautiful and brief in all aglow. Falling embers, the most gorgeous way to let you go. Every ember was a piece of us, flying free without a fuss. Falling embers. I used to fear the dying of the fire, but now I understand what embers mean. They carry all the heat of your desire into the dark so others can be seen. So far, beautiful, fall into the night. Let your glow be someone else's light, 'cause even dying fires find a way to warm the world before they fade away. Falling embers, beautiful and brief in all aglow. Falling embers, the most gorgeous way to let you go. Every ember was a piece of us, flying free without a fuss. Falling embers, watch them fall and drift and glow. The most beautiful way to let go. Falling embers, falling embers.
We built our love on clarity, but clarity couldn't bleed. Every window shows us real, every crack begins to reveal. I can see right through your smile, been standing in this truth a while. Every word so crystal clear, every fracture slowly appears. You said you'd never throw the stones, but here I'm standing on my own, in this house of glass we made, where every shadow starts to fade. Transparent walls and fragile floors, we built this thing but lost the doors. One wrong move and it all falls. Glass and heartache down the halls. Glass houses, we live in glass houses. Every secret shows through the light, every flaw is plain inside. Glass houses, we're just glass houses. Beautiful and paper thin. within. Maybe we should have built this stone, something that could hold our own, something that could weather more than the lies we've been building for. But we chose the glass, we chose the shine, we chose the beautiful design, and now we sit inside this wreck, too afraid to be the next. Glass houses, we live in glass houses. Oh, every secret shows through the light, every flaw is plain inside. Ooh. Glass houses, we're just glass houses. Ooh, beautiful and paper thin. All the cracks we hide within. So we tiptoe through the shards, living carefully off guard. Glass houses on the hill, gorgeous, fragile, standing still. Half empty bottle on the table, half a mind to make it stable, half the reasons I should leave, half the lies I still believe. I wake up reaching for your side, the other half I try to hide. The coffee mug that held your lips, still wearing all those fingerprints. I keep the light on in the hall, in case you ever wanna call. But the dial tone just rings on through, half of me still waiting for you. Filling up the empty spaces with the echoes of your traces. Half a heart can't make it whole, half a song can't find its soul. Half empty, half alive, trying hard just to survive. The half of me that walks away is the half that wants to stay. Half empty, half awake, for every promise you would break. I hold on to what remains, half the love and half the pain. I see a jacket by the door, a ghost of what we had before. The photos I should put away, but they keep drawing me to stay. I draft your name, then erase it clean 20 times before I mean to send a word to say I'm fine, but fine is just another lie. Filling up the empty spaces with the echoes of your traces. Half a heart can't make it whole, half a song can't find its soul. Half empty, half alive, trying hard just to survive. The half of me that walks away is the half that wants to stay. Half empty, half awake, for every promise you would break. I hold on to what remains, half the love and half the pain. Maybe someday I'll be whole, maybe fill this empty bowl with something new, something true, not the hollow ache of you. But until that sunrise comes, I'll keep counting backward from all the moments we were full before the world began to pour. Half empty, half alive, trying hard just to survive. The half of me that walks away is the half that wants to stay. Half empty, half awake, for every promise you would break. I hold on to what remains, half the love and half the pain. my half heart and resilience, half a hope that you'll return, half a lesson left to learn. Standing on hollow ground, where nothing holds and silence sounds. The earth beneath my feet gives way to empty space where you once stayed. I built a house on promises, on words you swore would never break. But every stone that held us up was just a dream I couldn't wake. The roots I planted deep in us have nothing left to anchor to. And now I'm walking on thin air in the hollow space that once was you. How do you stand when the ground is gone? How do you hold on when there's nothing to hold? I'm falling through the space between everything I knew in this cold hollow ground, hollow ground. I'm standing where you used to be found. Hollow ground, where the soil turned to sky and I drowned. These bones were made for solid earth, but I've lost all sense of worth on this hollow ground. I trace the cracks beneath my feet, the fault lines running through my soul. What I thought was solid stone was just a heart that wasn't whole. The gravity that kept me here has shifted now without a trace, and I'm suspended in this grief, in your absence, in your empty place. How do you stand when the ground is gone? How do you hold on when there's nothing to hold? I'm falling through the space between everything I knew in this cold hollow ground, hollow ground. I'm standing where you used to be found. Hollow ground, where the soil turned to sky and I drowned. These bones were made for solid earth, but I've lost all sense of worth on this hollow ground. Maybe the ground was always hollow, maybe the love was always there. Yeah, maybe I was too deep in sorrow to see there was nothing really there. But even knowing this, I stand right here on this unstable land, because hollow feels like something still when nothing else is real. Hollow ground, I'm standing where you used to be found. Hollow ground, where the soil turned to sky and I drowned. These bones were made for solid earth, but I've lost all sense of worth on this hollow ground. Still standing on hollow ground, still searching for something sound. Hollow ground, hollow ground.
Ivory dreams in a velvet sky, when nothing fades and love doesn't lie. I close my eyes and I drift away to a world where you decided to stay. There's a palace built of promises, where every room is warm with light. I walk the halls of what could have been, and everything feels perfectly right. The ivory walls hold echoes of laughter. The ivory floors hold the memory of dance. In this dream there is no day after, just you and me, frozen in romance. But when the morning comes creeping in, the ivory crumbles to dust and air, and all the beauty that lived within is nothing but the ghost of what was there. Ivory dreams, ivory dreams. Nothing is ever what nothing seems. Ivory dreams, ivory dreams. Falling apart at the softest seams. I build these castles in sleep to find the love that's living only in my mind. Ivory dreams. In the dream you still call my name with the tenderness I used to know. There's no distance, no grief, no blame, just the warmth of your evening glow. And I press my face to this illusion, breathing in every imagined touch, living inside this sweet confusion. Love in a dream, just a little too much. But when the morning comes creeping in, the ivory crumbles to dust and air, and all the beauty that lived within is nothing but the ghost of what was there. Ivory dreams. Nothing is ever what nothing seems. Ivory dreams, ivory dreams. Falling apart at the softest seams. I build these castles in sleep to find the love that's living only in my mind. Ivory dreams. Maybe I'll stay here forever. Maybe I'll never wake up. Maybe this dream is all I'll ever have when the waking world gives up. So let me linger in this ivory light. Let me hold on through the rest of the night. Even if morning will break the spell, even if waking is where I fell. Ivory dreams. Nothing is ever what nothing seems. Ivory dreams, ivory dreams. Falling apart at the softest seams. I build these castles and sleep to find the love that's living only in my mind. Ivory dreams. Ivory fades to gray as the dawn steals night away. Ivory dreams. Ivory dreams. Open wounds in the softest places, tender truth on the kindest faces. I am learning what it means to bleed and still give love everything it needs. I used to close up every crack, put walls of vulnerability was, cover every open wound with black, until the hurt became what love does. But something changed when you came close, with your gentle unassuming care. You saw what I had hidden most and stayed anyway, right there. And now I'm learning that open wounds are not a weakness, but a door, that what bleeds in the quiet rooms becomes worth fighting for. Open wounds, the bravest thing that love includes. Open wounds, where the healing slowly intrudes. I'm not ashamed of what's raw, of every scar and every flaw. Open wounds. There's a kind of strength in staying soft when everything is told you to harden. When you've been lifted up and dropped aloft, you still tend to the heart like a garden. And yes, it hurts to keep it open. Yes, it costs to keep it tender. But a heart that's only barely broken is a heart that still remembers. And now I'm learning that open wounds are not a weakness, but a door. That what bleeds in the quiet rooms is what becomes worth fighting for. Open wounds, the bravest thing that love includes. Open wounds, where the healing slowly intrudes. I'm not ashamed of what's still raw, of every scar and every flaw. Open wounds. Let the wound breathe, let the air in, let the light reach all the tender parts. Because healing needs a wide opening, and love needs the whole of broken hearts. So I'll stop hiding what still hurts. I'll stop pretending scars don't show. Because the bravest love asserts itself through everything we know. Open wounds, the bravest thing that love includes. Open wounds, where the healing slowly intrudes. I'm not ashamed of what's still raw, of every scar and every flaw. Open wounds, still learning to leave the wounds open, still finding the words left unspoken. Open wounds, open wounds. Painted shadows on the wall, colors bleeding as they fall. Every shade of you and me, darker than it used to be. You were crimson in the morning, soft and warm against the light. By the evening you were navy, cold and fading into night. I was yellow, trying hard to shine, bright enough to lift the gray. But our colors never quite aligned, they kept mixing wrong each day. And now these painted shadows tell a story of a love that tried to hold its hue, of every shade of ordinary glory that we brushed across each other's blue. Painted shadows on the walls of what we built. Painted shadows, gorgeous grief and gorgeous guilt. Every color we have ever used is still bleeding through this hue. Painted shadows of me and you. There were gold days when we believed that the painting would survive. There were great days we achieved just enough to stay alive. But now the canvas shows the damage, every overworked that tried to hold you, of every shade of ordinary glory that we brushed across each other's blue. Painted shadows on the walls of what we built. Painted shadows, gorgeous grief and gorgeous guilt. Every color we have ever used is still bleeding through this hue. Painted shadows of me and you. Maybe our love looks like this up close, a mess of colors trying to agree. Maybe the painting matters most when it shows us who we used to be. So I'll keep these shadows on my wall. I'll let the colors bleed and fall, 'cause even painted in shadow and doubt, love is still the loveliest thing I found out. Painted shadows on the walls of what we built. Painted shadows, gorgeous grief and gorgeous guilt. Every color we have ever used is still bleeding through this hue. Painted shadows of me and you. Still painting shadows on the wall. Still painting shadows on the wall. Still watching all the colors fall. Painted shadows, painted shadows.
In the stillness of the night, I reach out for what's not there, a ghost of warmth and fading light. Your touch still lingers in the air. I wake up reaching for your side, but the sheets are cold and bare, an illusion I can't shake inside. Your phantom presence everywhere. The scent of you on every breeze, the sound of you in every song. My fingers ache with memories of holding what can't be held long. How do you touch what doesn't exist? How do you miss what never stayed? The echo of your lips I've kissed keeps haunting me in light and shade. Phantom touch, I feel you when you're not around. Phantom touch, your ghost is all that I have found. In the silence of my skin, you're a feeling I can't win. Phantom touch, I trace the outline of your face in shadows on the bedroom wall. And for a moment I embrace the nothing that I miss most of all. The way you'd hold my hand at night, the warmth that used to fill the space. Now all I have is this cold tied to something made of smoke and air. But in the darkness of this night, I swear I feel you everywhere. Is this love or is this grief or something tangled in between? The phantom of my own belief in what was lost and what might have been. Phantom touch, phantom touch. I feel you when you're not around. Phantom touch, phantom touch. Your ghost is all that I have found. In the silence of my skin, you're a feeling I can't win. Phantom touch, still reaching through the dark. Ooh, still searching for your mark. Phantom touch. Ooh, phantom touch. Oh, photographs still on the shelf, faded edges left by someone else. The rust has settled where it rained, but under all that weathered paint, I found your letters in a drawer. Between the years I can't restore. The ink is bled but words remain, like roses blooming through the stain. You left a garden I can't tend, but every spring it comes again, with thorns that catch me when I reach for something just beyond my reach. We were beautiful and broken, every promise softly spoken, fading into rust and roses. Time is what it always closes. Rust and roses, that's what's left. Rusted like a golden chest, the sweetest thing I ever felt, the only hand that made me need you. Rust and roses, that's our song, a love that aged and still held on through the decay and dying light. Rust and roses burning bright. I keep the ring inside a box, behind the key that fits no locks. The metal's green but it still shines, like echoes of those better times. You taught me how to feel the ache of holding on for someone's sake, and learning when to let it go, but keeping all the things I know. We were beautiful and broken, every promise softly spoken, fading into rust and roses. Time is what it always closes. Oh, rust and roses, that's what's left. Oh, rusted like a golden chest, the sweetest thing I ever felt, the only hand that made me kneel. Rust and roses, that's our song, a love that aged and still held on
Sapphire blues in the evening air, the color of longing everywhere, deep and cold and beautiful and true. I've been living in this sapphire hue. There's a color that lives inside my chest, a blue so deep it could be the sea. Rich and heavy and not quite depressed, just a different way of feeling free. Sapphire blues when the day goes quiet, when the noise gives way to the shade. It's not sadness, it's more like a riot of every beautiful thing that stayed. You left me with the color blue, but not the pale blue of ordinary grief. You left a sapphire running through every love song, every turning leaf. Sapphire blues, sapphire blues, the most beautiful kind of bruise. Sapphire blues, sapphire blues, sapphire blues, a color I refuse to lose, because in this blue lies everything, every memory worth remembering. Sapphire blues. I wear this color like a second skin, like the sky just after the sun goes down. There's a richness that lives deep within, the shade that used to make me drown. But I've learned to swim in sapphire water, to float on waves of deep blue feeling, to be grief's most grateful daughter, and let the beauty do its healing. You left me with a color blue, but not the pale blue of ordinary grief. You left a sapphire running through every love song, every turning leaf. Sapphire blues, sapphire blues, sapphire blues, the most beautiful kind of bruise. Sapphire blues, sapphire blues, sapphire blues, a color I refuse to lose, because in this blue lies everything, every memory worth remembering. Sapphire blues. Maybe blue was always our color, maybe grief was always our song, maybe sapphire runs through every lover who has known and lost something strong. So I wear this blue like a jewel, let the depth of it keep me true, because what looks like sorrow can be beautiful when it's the sapphire blue of you. The most beautiful kind of bruise. Sapphire blues. Color I refuse to lose, because in this blue lies everything, every memory worth remembering. Sapphire blues. Swimming deep in sapphire blues, the most beautiful shade I'll never lose. Sapphire blues, sapphire blues. Sapphire blues. Scattered light through the curtains again. Empty room feels like it never ends. I chase the shadows on the bedroom wall, waiting for a voice that never calls. Coffee's cold, the morning's halfway gone. I've been staring at the space you left me on. Every little thing you touch still stays. Breathing through these slow and hollow days. I keep the window open just in case, just to feel the wind that holds your trace. The sunlight breaks but never feels the same. Scattered pieces falling with your name. I don't know how to start again when every room just echoes where you've been. I don't know how to let the silence go, but I'm learning slow. Scattered light, it finds me every time when the dark gets heavy on my mind. I reach out, but there's nothing there to hold. Just scattered light on the bedroom floor. Scattered light through the morning air reminds me you were everywhere, and I'm alone, but somehow I survive. Scattered light keeps me alive. Some days feel like moving underwater. Steps too heavy, lungs too full of pressure. I build a space where ghosts don't have to knock, but still I find myself around the clock, rereading text from months ago at night, trying to remember how we felt right. Every word just scattered on the floor like broken glass I sweep up and ignore. I don't know how to start again when every room just echoes where you've been. I don't know how to let the silence go, but I'm learning slow. Scattered light finds me every time when the dark gets heavy on my mind. I reach out, but there's nothing there to hold. Just scattered light on the bedroom floor. Scattered light through the morning air reminds me you were everywhere, and I'm alone, but somehow I survive. Scattered light keeps me alive. Maybe solitude ain't all that bad. Maybe I've been grieving what we never had. Every ray of light that hits my skin slowly pulls me back from where I've been. I'll find a way to fill this quiet space, not by forgetting, just by finding grace. Let the light pour in and do its part. Scatter rays collecting in my heart. Scattered light defines me every time when the dark gets heavy on my mind. I reach out, but there's nothing there to hold. Just scattered light on the bedroom floor. Scattered light through the morning air reminds me you were everywhere, and I'm alone, but somehow I survive. Scattered light keeps me alive. Scattered light, scattered light, scattered light. You still find me in the night. Scattered light, scattered light. I'm gonna be alright. Oh, yeah. Walking the edge of a silent sorrow, where yesterday bleeds into tomorrow. The boundary between what was and is just a thin line traced in this. There's a cliff at the end of every feeling, where the pain drops off into the sea. I've been standing here for so long, wondering what's on the other side of grief. The edge of sorrow has a view that stretches miles of gray and blue, and from up here I can almost see the version of me that got through. I'm standing at the edge, but I'm not falling. Something keeps me here between the hurt and heal. The quiet after crying is still calling to something buried deep that wants to feel. Sorrow's edge, sorrow's edge. I'm balancing along this ledge. Sorrow's edge, sorrow's edge, where the grief meets something better Every day I inch a little closer to the side where I begin again. The edge is getting thinner, but I notice the ground behind me level and plain. There's a path that leads away from this cliff, and I think I know the way back now. The sorrow's edge is still a story to give, but I'm learning how to take a bow. I'm standing at the edge, but I'm not falling. Something keeps me here between the hurt and healed. The quiet after crying is still calling to something buried deep that wants to feel. Sorrow's edge, sorrow's edge. I'm balancing along this ledge. Sorrow's edge, sorrow's edge. Where the grief meets something better pledge. I might not step back from this line, but I won't cross it this time at sorrow's edge. Maybe sorrow has an edge for a reason. Maybe the pain was always meant to end. And standing here at the close of this season, I'm beginning to see what's around the bend. Not a fall, but a gentle descent. Not an ending, but a slow relent. The edge of sorrow leads to ground, where the broken self gets found. Sorrow's edge. I'm balancing along this ledge. Sorrow's edge, sorrow's edge. Where the grief needs something better pledge. I might not step back from this line, but I won't cross it this time at sorrow's edge. Finding my way from sorrow's edge. Trading in the grief for something pledged. Sorrow's edge, sorrow's edge.
Down in the soil where I was born, between the branches old and worn. The roots run deep, they always do. They pull me back to what I knew. I come from rivers in the south, from all the silence and the doubt, from hands that work the stubborn earth. From all the way to being first. My daddy's voice still calls my name. Every season sounds the same. I planted seeds and walked away, but roots don't care what roots you say. Tangled in the things I left, tangled in the things that kept me coming back to where I started, to where the roots first touched my heart. Tangled roots, can't escape my tangled roots. Every branch will circle back to the truth along the track. Tangled roots, I am made of tangled roots. Pull me up and what you see is the earth that made me me. My mama's hands are in my own. The way I stand, the way I've grown, the way I carry all the grief like old bark beneath the leaf. I left the town, I swore I'd leave, but came back every time I breathe. Some places get inside your bones, some places always call you home. Tangled in the things I left, tangled in the things that kept me coming back to where I started, to where the roots first touched my heart. Tangled roots, can't can strangle. There is grace beneath the ground, in the place where I was found. I don't run from what I'm made of. I don't hide from what I'm afraid of. Every root has purpose here, pulling me through every Tangled roots. Can't escape my tangled roots. Every branch will circle back to the truth along the track. I am made of tangled roots. Pull me up and what you see is the earth that made me. So I'll sit beneath this oak tree, let the tangled roots just hold me in the soil of all I am, growing slowly where I stand.